All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Boxing Rush Hour Show, fightsatw.com, fights around the world. I have a special guest today. He's a husband, father of five. He is
Seven.
or seven. I'm sorry, seven.
We blended. We you know what I'm saying?
Wow, father of seven, and he plays the role of Jules in the Tyler Perry hit Netflix series Beauty in Black. I could only be talking about one man, and that is Charles Malik Whitfield. Malik, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. It's so good to see my brother. I,
Yeah, no doubt.
yes, indeed.
Listen, man, Beauty in Black. You posted something on Instagram the other day, number one worldwide. So it's a big deal, man. How does it feel being part of something so big worldwide that it's connecting with so many people on Netflix?
It's incredible. What's really phenomenal is just it's taken flight on its own meteoric trajectory. To come out, you know, every single time that we've presented the show from its conception to go international and number one. It says a lot. It says a lot for Tyler Perry. Of course, anyone wants to be a part of something that's doing and making some strong noise in the field where, as artists, we're always looking like what could be something that's just incredible or what could be that 1980s Star Wars or whatever that may be. But it's just humbling. Filled with a lot of gratitude to be a part of the show. The entire cast is just incredible, and at the helm is Tyler Perry. I mean, he's there every second of the way. Lock, stock, and barrel, focused in, synced in from his directing. He's just in his mastery, culmination of so much, and it's humbling. It's really, really humbling, to be a part of it. So, I kind of lock in and go where I need to go and stay there. I stay in my lane, and where there's other avenues to cultivate and add these other different textures, I'm ever so present and ever so available. And that's really my number one thing. Just be available. Just be available, and take the ride.
Yeah, yeah, and I wanted to, I know we spoke about this before offline, but just kind of wanted to give people like a quick insight of what that initial conversation was like, bringing you on board for the first season between you and Tyler Perry for Beauty and Black and getting you onto the show.
It was interesting. I had an offer for another show from another network, and myself and Tyler, he called. He says, "Look, I think I want to write something. I'm writing something, and I want you to do it. But I'm be real clear. I'm going very dark. So I want to know, if you want to take this ride with me." And I was like, "Huh, going dark? So we could do that. Yeah, we could rock." And so we had to be patient as he put all the pieces and scenarios and other cast members together. And then, of course, uh, it's kind of like part of the law of attraction. And then I'm sitting there and I'm getting offered a couple other shows, and it's like, don't look, don't look. You know where you're going. Stay right here. Stay grounded. You listen. This is what the commitment is, and so I was happy to take that journey. Instantly, the second I read it, I said, oh." I said, "Okay, we'll lean into this."
Yeah.
Being the actor, being the creative, because I don't just look at it as acting. I look at it as all these other different layers
Hmm.
of perspective, voices that don't get seen, actionable scenarios that haven't had a exclamation point on it for so many reasons. So, for myself, it's cathartic. It's a purging. It's a releasing. It's a safe place to explore, and he creates that.
Yeah, for sure. Because I tell you, that first season, there was some scenes that you had there. I had the emoji big eyeballs, like, yo, this guy is crazy. But listen, the first season, right? And I want to just touch on real quick. Your character was more of like the schemer, right? The one that was always about maintaining balance and chaos. How was the process of getting that out of your system on the for the first season before we get into the second season?
Yeah, my normal process was is is my go-to is my yoga. My go-to is my you know force breathing, meditation, and just recalibrating, and understanding because you can get lost in a lot of characters, and I say lost because not only am I always looking for a way to fine tune a scene or find a little bit of more specificity. That happens sometimes too because the words may be locked in, but there's something else going on underneath the motor, and then I'm going, oh, I'm starting to dream about something else and go somewhere else. So I'm completely committed to that character. However, for all intents and purposes of my life, I find it to be an unhealthy process. So I'm trying to do everything that I can to just shake that off, stay in the lane. I mean, the reception from fans and so forth is so powerful because it's a love hate relationship. They love me, the person. They hate the character, but I love the opportunity for them to hate a character or engage with him that strongly. So it's been monumental for me specifically from day one, not to do a lot of press. I just want the character to let that live. I think, for all of our beautiful cast members, it's important for them to go out and hit the press trail campaign. But it's almost I almost feel like for me personally, Kaiser Sose. No, no. The less people see of me, the more his myth grows. Extent, and he has a little bit more, uh, gravitas. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I find it, I'm your everyday guy. So, I'm just, you know, whatever you need. Like, hey, we painting the walls today. We're painting the walls today. Whatever it is, I'm pretty simple like that, and I really move through life like that. Like many a times, I enjoy the fact that sometimes I can go to the airport, and of course, I'll put a mask on, and I'll be standing in amongst all of these people, and they don't have any clue that I'm standing right next to them. And some people have been talking about the show, and I'm standing right next to them. And then sometimes I've been there and done that as well, and nobody knows. And then I'm like, I'm really hungry. I just got to get a little bite to eat before I go on this plane. And I grab something to eat, and I take the mask off, and they go, oh, whoa, 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 and so it's all love. It's all love,
Yeah.
and I tell people, I only treat people as if they are a part of my family because, I don't know a lot of my extended family, you know, they could be my family in any capacity. And so I'm just thankful to engage with kind people. And some people are just like really, really hardcore fans of the show. And they're like, yeah, give me, could you do this? I could. And I go, I understand. It's okay. Just give me a hug. The show's phenomenal. Go back and look at the show. But when we see each other, it's just love.
Oh, oh, man. And listen, second season, yo, you went super dark, man. Um, I'm just trying to figure out was the transition out of that harder for you in the second season than it was for the first?
It was a pivot. It's a pivot. It was a definite strong pivot. Um, it was a little harder. It was more isolation for me in order to do so. More isolation. not intentionally, but even with the cast, because he needs to sit in it.
Hmm.
You know, he needs to sit in it. He's not taking a shower off it. He's not showering it off. He needs to sit in it. And what that means is that to sit in it strongly is a conviction that is all lights go. If it's a green light, it's still a go. If it's a red light, it's still a go. He's making the time, and so that's a different wheel that's turned in that pivot. So going through the journey, which can't wait for what people see in 2027. You have no idea. You know, Tyler just had this wonderful execution of just take the course of steroids, because that's what it felt like. Everything
Mm.
going on steroids. So but I think, these kind of roles, it affects me physically. It affects me physically because, I'm vibrate at a high frequency. So I tap in at a different frequency for this character. So, the good part was, like, I didn't find myself, you know, having one of them little, courses where you feel like, oh, I got stuck with the character. He came out, but I identify with the character so much in so many different ways. My journey is always, how can I become so much closer? How I have certain aspects of this character that lives in me as a child, or friends, or seeing so much, or watching so many people transition, how that affected me over time. And so I find it, this is my lab house, but this is my therapy. But I'm also free to really jump in and explore that. So I explore it unapologetically.
Yeah, I definitely saw some of that Bronx come out of you. Hey, I saw reports that the third season is 6 episodes and that the production is completed. Any truth to that, or anything that you can shed, that you can talk about the upcoming season, that just kind of to anticipate, like, lightly?
Yeah. So Netflix has their own kind of model that they kind of like to stick to, as it was presented to us. They kind of like shows to go out on top. Um, we would like it to continue. I think the fans, their input can always be impactful on what could continue, what could have more legs in life. But as it stands right now, that's the final season um, of Beauty in Black. It's you, you smile and you enjoy, and what begins in this industry also ends. We don't know what the timing is, and sometimes, even if you have something that's like number one and doing all of these numbers, and it's just so engaging, um you know you have to just be thankful for the ride. And that's what I am, just thankful for the ride. I'm thankful for the opportunity, even thankful to, if as it is right now, because I always say, I speak life into life. I don't speak life into the finality. So I
Mhm.
speak life into a continuation of this show. However, for whatever time frame it is set up for, I'm appreciative, and I just say thank you. Thank you for the time well spent.
Yeah, yeah, that's what's up. All right, listen, we're gonna sprinkle in some sweet science here, because we are a boxing show, even though we wanna, shed light and love to Beauty in Black, and your participation in it. But Saturday night on Netflix, Tyson Fury fights Arslanbek Makhmudov. And I was making this joke with Kevin Interdonato, that Arslanbek looked like a guy that should belong in front of a club in New York City checking IDs, because he's like 6'5", like 260 pounds. He's a monster, right? This guy
Yeah.
fights bears and stuff. Um, just kind of curious on your thoughts on the fight. It's going to be streaming on Netflix. It's a big deal for them over there.
Yes.
Your show's on Netflix. That's a big deal over there. So just wanted to get your thoughts on this fight and what do you think is going to happen on Saturday night?
You know, I think Tyson Fury is a very seasoned boxer. He's seen adversity. He knows what it looks like. He knows what um, getting up off the canvas and digging deep looks like. Mahmoud, it looks like he's super, super talented. For me personally, I think the edges in Tyson Fury's corner early. However, I believe we may see a fight that goes the distance, technical, you know, distance, and maybe go to the scorecards. Now, these are big boys, so when they swing, they swing with uh they swing with some bad intentions at times. How much is it going to be? Is it all depends on how much Tyson is going to engage, and I don't for some reason I don't see him looking to walk him down to engage, box him and see where he might be able to be a little crafty and
Hmm.
see how he can be impactful and then engage. Yes, so I think because of that, there might be a little dancing and walking around and both being a little careful, and I think Tyson doesn't want to catch nothing dry too early himself. So I think the approach, I just think this approach won't be let's get to it um, and punch ourselves out. And I think that is why we might have a technical go to the scorecard decision because we'll know in the first 3 rounds, is anyone trying to really knock anyone out, or they're trying not to get knocked out, and then save it, save it in the tank so they can go all out one way or the other.
And who you picking to win at the end?
I'm picking Tyson,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah, it's very, very small edge,
Yeah.
very small edge. Because I think he's had a long career, and it only takes a second for somebody to just say, uh, "Excuse me, your food has been served." No, that's not your seat. Go over there. So, you know, I'm giving him a slight edge, though. I think I don't really see Tyson fighting much more after this. I think this could be an exclamation fight for him.
Yeah, I think that maybe the only other fight for him that makes even sense is the Anthony Joshua fight, right? Because that's the biggest thing in England. But
Yeah, exactly. That's the next biggest thing, and I'm not sure. Um, time and age plays. Uh, you want to go out on your shield. It's a choice. I mean, he could easily go out on his shield on Saturday. But I think he's thinking about that. How does he want to walk out? And I think that, for me personally, is why I think he'll be very cautious. He won't be gun shy to stand his ground, but he'll be cautious to try and walk him down.
yeah, for sure, because time waits for no man.
What? Got that boy over there playing with bears and things. I don't know what else he's playing with, but you know what? Don't let him put them hands on you.
Yeah. Hey Malik, last thing.
Yeah.
What's what's in the future for you? Like what are some things that fans of your work can anticipate maybe for the rest of the year, maybe for next year?
You know, I say to my fans, I'm looking forward to some interesting new projects. I'm always happy to help with some other friends' projects and kind of bump their stuff up. But I'm looking to be intentionally behind the camera, directing, producing, and putting some new material out. I think there's so many fantastic young artists that I want to work with, and contemporaries that I just enjoy. And I'm looking forward to being in the camera and doing that full time, deferring with great people, collaborating, and as well as, kicking the door down on some new roles. It's been an honor. It's been an honor going through my career many times for many years. It's like, hey, you're Otis. I'm forever Otis from the Temptations. And I've had a few different roles, man, no, you Lucian, you the good guy, right? And now with Jules, people are like, I only see Jules now. I only like I had to cut my beard purposely just because it was like I only see Jules, like and so I always say it's a redefining of myself, and just opening, working on my vessel, opening up myself to different possibilities, going different directions, and trusting in that process. But I look forward to doing some wonderful projects, feature and/or TV or procedural behind the screen as well. So I'm the the access is it's wide open. I have no definitive guess where I'm going. I just know that with faith, prayers, all things are possible. And so I'm not claiming one thing and going one direction. And God, which is a great author, says, "No, son, you're coming over here." And
Hmm.
so I'm open and I'm just listening and I'm being patient. And I don't always haven't always had that patient button as a young man. New York City, we like let's get to it, move out my way. I got to get to work and let's go. And so it's being patient and being present is paramount for me. Not only with the time that I get to spend with you here right now, but friends, loved ones, and also, I'm the guy I'm in love with the art of acting, the business, the industry, which is changing. And so my prayer is that I end up in a room full of some kind people, and let's get to work and hang out.
Yeah, yeah. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, I will attest to that. Malik is as authentic as all the words that he just used. So believe him when he says that thing. Listen, I appreciate your time today. I want to thank you for that. Wishing you the best, much more success, continued success, all of that with your show and everything else you got going on.
Man, I thank you. And we got to make some time. Let's make some time to see each other and go grab some dinner, some lunch. Like it's too long. And these FaceTime, these Zooms, they're cool. But you know what? Let's spend a little time in person.
That's what's up. All right, Malik, I appreciate it.
All right.
All right.
Love.